So I just want to make a quick video for anyone who has a Cadillac CTS or CTS-V and you're getting a lot of water in the trunk. I've been going through this thing and investigating, and what I found was these body seams here are separated and they're just letting all the water in. And this thing came in with probably about 10 gallons of water in the trunk. This whole pan was pretty much full of water, and it smells exactly like you'd imagine. So we're gonna strip all this interior stuff out. I already ripped most of this stuff out. It's all easy stuff. You just pull apart mostly. Not really any tools required. So I'm gonna remove the rest of this liner and then try to find something to seal this up. Okay, so these little hooks here just twist off. And you just grab and pull these little plastic inserts. Just hook in. Let's get rid of this. At least get rid of it, get it out of the way. Okay, so you can see it looks kind of just like maybe a factory defect in these Cadillacs. The way this seam sealer doesn't seem to go all the way. That seam is completely open. I don't know if anyone had an amplifier or something here, maybe from the vibration. It definitely doesn't look like it's ever been hit. The paint is just as straight as can be. There's no evidence of repainting, and if it was, then they did a great job. No accidents on Carfax. I'm assuming this was just some kind of factory oversight. I didn't notice this side leaking, but I took it apart anyway. And even this one looks like it's a little light on the seam sealer. Like there just isn't as much there as I feel like there should be. Okay, now I'm going to start pulling some of this stuff off to gain better access to it, starting with the weather stripping. This just pulls off. And I'm going to figure out how to take this tail light out. It looks like it's just held in with a bunch of 10mm nuts. Okay, I got those 3 10mm nuts off to hold the tail light on, so I'm guessing just pull it away and then detach it. However it detaches. Looks like you gotta insert a screwdriver or something in there. There we go, now I got plenty of access to that failed seam. So I guess I'm gonna clean this up and maybe take some sandpaper to it if it seems necessary. I'm gonna take some alcohol, rubbing alcohol. It's all clean. Okay, now I'm just going to take one of these wire brushes, detailing brushes, and get in there. See all that dirt and stuff that's down in the crevice. Now I'm going to do roughly the same thing for the back side of the seam. This has got some nasty looking stuff on it. Now once I'm done wire brushing, I'll come back with the alcohol soaked rag. Clean this stuff up. Back side thing too. Now, I'm definitely not a body guy, but I do know that you should never use silicone or any type of RTV on a body seam. You should always use some kind of butyl-based seam sealer, like this. It comes in this tube that fits in a caulk gun like that. Okay, so I'm going to do this as best I can. I'm gonna try to inject, see how injectable this is, and get it down inside the crease, hopefully, as well as putting a bunch of it on top. Looks like it's going down there a little bit. I'm also gonna do this factory style where they just slather it on there. Get the big bead and I'll straighten it out later with some cardboard. Okay, and I'm gonna smooth this down, just a piece of cardboard, I guess. Level off the excess. I'll come over to the back side of the joint and do the same thing. Okay, so on the back side I basically just covered the factory seam sealer and kind of tried to inject it into the separation between the two pieces of metal, and then smoothed it out with cardboard just like on the outside. Now, I also did the driver's side. Even though it wasn't leaking in my test, it looked like it might start leaking soon because I saw that seam starting to separate just like the other side did, and also sealed up the back side of that joint too. But primarily your concern is the outside joint because the water runs down this channel, and then that open lip there, it just feeds right in straight to the trunk. I'm gonna go through and check the rest of these joints too. Well, all the other joints look like they were okay, so I'm not gonna mess with them. So I'm gonna let this sit for a day. I'm gonna come back tomorrow and redo the water test, see if we get any water in the trunk. Well, it's the next day. I just held the water hose on the Cadillac for about 15 minutes, and we are bone dry. Not a single drop in the trunk area. I think it's safe to say that fixed it.